You're not overwhelmed, you're undisciplined. Fixing it is easier than you think. You're not drowning, you're not cursed with too much to handle, you're simply undisciplined. And the moment you accept that, your entire life changes. Let's get something straight. Overwhelm is often just a polite word you use to disguise your lack of control. You say, I have too much on my plate. No, you just don't have the spine to cut the crap and focus on what matters. Brutal? Yes. True? Absolutely. Look at your day. Be honest for once. How many hours do you burn scrolling through nonsense? How many times do you say, I'll start later, while knowing later never comes? And how often do you confuse being busy with actually moving forward? This isn't overwhelm, this is sabotage, self-inflicted chaos. Here's a harsh truth most people will never tell you. Your brain doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about comfort, familiarity, immediate reward. That's why your hand drifts toward your phone instead of your goals. That's why you binge content when you should be creating, building, improving. You've trained your nervous system to obey the path of least resistance. And now, when life demands more of you, you collapse under the weight of your own habits. And then you call it overwhelm. But let me be direct. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're the architect of your own disorder. Every time you refuse to draw boundaries, every time you say yes to crap that doesn't serve you, every time you choose distraction over discipline, you're feeding the monster that eats your focus alive. Here's the shocking part. Overwhelm isn't real. It's a story, a label you slap on your poor time management and lack of control. The truth is, you don't have too much to do, you have too little clarity. You haven't decided what actually matters, so everything feels urgent, everything feels heavy, and you end up doing nothing with power. Let me break this down with psychology. The human brain can only focus on a limited number of meaningful tasks in a day. Research shows your willpower and attention are finite resources. Every decision you make drains that tank. But if you waste that energy on trivial choices, what to eat, which app to open, how long to rest before starting, you sabotage your own brain before the real work even begins. It's not overwhelm, that's poor discipline. Think about attraction dynamics for a second. Confidence, presence, charisma, all those traits people chase in relationships are built on one foundation: self-control. The man or woman who can master their emotions, habits, and focus becomes magnetic. Not because of looks, not because of wealth, but because discipline radiates strength. Without it, you crumble under pressure. With it, you command respect without trying. Now let's throw another truth at you. Most of your stress isn't coming from workload, it's coming from avoidance. Avoiding the hard conversation, avoiding the gym, avoiding the real priorities. Every time you procrastinate, your brain registers a threat that lingers in the background. That unmade decision is a leech sucking away your peace. You're not overwhelmed because of what you're doing. You're overwhelmed because of what you keep refusing to face. So here's the mindset shift you need to adopt right now. Overwhelmed doesn't mean you have too much to do. It means you're doing too little of what matters. That's it. That's the code. Discipline is the ability to kill the noise and attack the essential. It's easier than you think because it doesn't require some mythical motivation or perfect system. It requires a decision, a ruthless cut. You don't need a 50-step plan. You don't need another productivity hack. You need to ask, what are the 3 things today that will actually move my life forward? Everything else is background noise. Delete it, delay it, or delegate it. Yes, it feels brutal. Yes, you'll piss people off when you stop catering to their demands. But let me ask you, what's worse? A few raised eyebrows from others, or living your entire life buried under tasks that don't mean a damn thing? You think you're overwhelmed. You're not. You're undisciplined. And discipline doesn't mean chaining yourself to misery. It means creating the freedom to finally breathe without guilt because you're actually doing the work that matters. So here's your challenge. Tonight, write down every single task, responsibility, or obligation you've been carrying. Then slash the list in half. Then slash it again. What's left? That's your life. Everything else, dead weight. Stop lying to yourself. Stop playing the victim. You're not drowning. You're just holding on to anchors. Drop them. Swim forward. Discipline is not a punishment. It's a liberation. And until you get that, Overwhelm will keep strangling you. Here's the truth you keep running from. The person you are right now is the direct reflection of your discipline or lack of it. Your body? That's discipline. Your bank account? Discipline. Your relationships? Still discipline. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. Sit with it, because your life is a mirror, and the reflection staring back at you is made up of the choices you did or didn't make. See, you like to think you're complicated, that your struggles are layered, mysterious, too unique for simple answers. That's a lie you tell yourself to avoid facing reality. Most of your problems aren't complicated. They're the boring, repetitive outcome of refusing to master the basics. You don't lack potential. You lack consistency. You don't lack intelligence. You lack execution. And here's the paradox. People around you see it. In your relationships, people pick up on your lack of self-control. Attraction isn't just about looks, charisma, or even money. It's about energy. Discipline radiates through body language, through the way you speak, through the way you carry yourself. Someone who's disciplined in their habits shows up differently. Calm under pressure, reliable, commanding. Someone who isn't? Nervous, flaky, forgettable. You think you're hiding your lack of discipline from others. You're not. It leaks out of you. This is why people don't respect your time, why they walk over your boundaries, why they don't take your words seriously. You train them to doubt you by doubting yourself. And the root cause? Undisciplined living. Let's drop another hard truth. Discipline is sexy. Chaos isn't. In psychology, humans are drawn to those who can regulate themselves because self-regulation signals strength, safety, and leadership. If you can't even control your sleep, your phone, your emotions, why would anyone trust you with their heart, their future, or their respect? Think about that next time you tell yourself you're overwhelmed. No one finds overwhelm attractive. But discipline? Discipline is magnetic. It communicates, I have control. I can handle myself. I don't need rescuing. And that kind of energy pulls people in without effort. Now let's hit the biggest lie you keep repeating. I don't have time. Stop. Just stop. You do have time. You're just bleeding it out every day. Every hour you spend numbing yourself with distractions is proof. Every minute wasted arguing online, every night wasted drowning in cheap dopamine, every morning wasted hitting snooze. That's not lack of time, that's lack of discipline. And until you face that, your life won't change. But here's where psychology kicks in. Your brain is wired to avoid pain and chase pleasure. That's why building discipline feels unnatural at first. But once you rewire your reward system by attaching satisfaction to progress instead of distraction, you start to crave the grind. Discipline stops feeling like a cage and starts feeling like a drug. Progress becomes addictive. This is why small wins matter. It's not about going from zero to perfect overnight. It's about teaching your brain that progress feels better than comfort. One tough workout, one hard conversation, one disciplined morning routine. Each win is proof you're not helpless. Each win retrains your identity. You stop seeing yourself as overwhelmed and start seeing yourself as someone in control. And that shift is what changes everything. Your attraction, your confidence, your career, your relationships. Because people feel it. They notice when you start saying no with conviction. They notice when you walk differently, speak differently, look them in the eye without flinching. And they can't ignore it. Here's a harsh but liberating realization. People are judging you anyway. They're already measuring your level of discipline, consciously or not. So the question is, are you giving them a reason to respect you or pity you? Are you signaling strength or weakness? The good news, it's easier than you think. No, you don't need to become a monk. You don't need to grind 20 hours a day. You just need to start proving to yourself in small, undeniable ways that you're capable of control. Set one rule and don't break it. Wake up at the time you said you would. Put the phone away for 2 hours a day. Hit the gym 3 times a week no matter what. These are not superhuman feats. These are basic standards, and yet most people fail them daily. You don't need 100 victories. You just need enough proof that you're not who you used to be. Enough proof that when you say you'll do something, you actually do it. That's how you rebuild self-respect. That's how you silence the overwhelm narrative. Because deep down, you know this. The real pain in your life isn't discipline. It's regret. Regret from wasting years. Regret from missing opportunities. Regret from being a watered-down version of who you could have been. Discipline hurts for a moment. Regret hurts forever. So here's your slap of truth. Stop running from discipline. Stop dressing up your weakness as overwhelm. Own it. Fix it. Build it. And watch how fast your life transforms when you finally stop being at war with yourself. The world doesn't need another overwhelmed, distracted, self-pitying person. It needs you, disciplined, focused, unshakable. And that version of you is easier to build than you've been pretending it is.
You don't rise to the level of your goals. You sink to the level of your discipline. That's why your dreams feel out of reach, not because they're too big, not because life is unfair, but because you've been building them on a foundation of sand, weak habits, weak standards, weak follow-through. Here's the psychological dagger. People think discipline is about punishment, about stripping joy, about living a rigid, joyless existence. That's why you avoid it. You think discipline means becoming robotic. But in reality, discipline is the gateway to freedom. Think about it. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want whenever you want it. That's chaos. That's addiction. That's slavery to impulse. Freedom is control. Freedom is walking into a room knowing you're not a hostage to your urges, your fears, or your laziness. Freedom is choosing your path and sticking to it. And that only comes from discipline. Relationships prove this better than anything else. If you're undisciplined, you bleed insecurity into every interaction. You chase validation. You tolerate toxic dynamics. You cling instead of lead. And deep down, people feel it. They may not articulate it, but they sense it. Undisciplined people can't be trusted because they can't even trust themselves. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Attraction is discipline in disguise. Why do we admire people who are fit, successful, composed under pressure? Because those traits scream one thing. This person has control. They didn't get there by accident. They fought their impulses and built consistency. And our psychology reads that as strength, as safety, as worth following. On the flip side, you want to know why people ignore you? Why your relationships fizzle? Why your presence doesn't command attention? It's not because you're unlucky. It's because you radiate weakness. You've trained people to expect nothing from you because you'd expect nothing from yourself. Let that sink in. When you call yourself overwhelmed, you're not describing reality. You're advertising your lack of control. You're broadcasting to the world, I can't handle myself. And people believe you. That's why doors stay closed. That's why respect slips through your fingers. But here's the good news, the part you keep underestimating. Discipline is a skill, a trainable muscle. You weren't born with it or without it. You build it. And the entry point is far smaller, far easier than you think. Start with the first decision of the day. Get out of bed when the alarm hits. No snooze. That tiny act rewires your identity, because the moment you keep one promise to yourself, you're no longer the same person. You've proven you can, and the brain builds momentum from proof. Stack enough of those small wins, and you don't just do discipline, you become disciplined. And that identity shift, that's when overwhelm dies. Because once you trust yourself, no task feels impossible. You stop flinching at challenges. You stop drowning in chaos. You stop pretending you're too busy when the truth is you're just scattered. Another slap of truth. Most people will never fix this. They'll keep numbing themselves with distractions, crying about being overwhelmed, waiting for motivation that never comes. They'll die average, leaving nothing but wasted potential behind. But you don't have to. You can decide today to draw the line, to stop labeling yourself overwhelmed and start calling yourself what you are, undisciplined, and then fix it, step by step, small, undeniable wins, the kind that compound until one day people look at you differently. They'll say, you've changed, and they'll be right. But the truth, you didn't change. You revealed who you were always capable of being. So here's your final challenge. For the next 30 days, pick one standard you will not break. Wake up early, train your body, write daily. Whatever it is, lock it in. And don't fail. Prove to yourself you can be trusted. Prove to yourself you're not another excuse maker. That one streak will do more for your confidence, your attraction, your respect, and your peace than years of empty promises ever could. Because once you know you can trust yourself, no one can take that away. You're not overwhelmed. You never were. You've been undisciplined, and fixing it is easier than you think. Now stop lying to yourself. Get up, get disciplined, and build the life you've been pretending you're too busy to live.